Good afternoon, teacher. We are the group number 6, and in this occasion, we are going to develop our learning activity number 2. Okay, we are going to talk about the psychological factors that influence the second language acquisition. Well, there are a lot of factors that influence at the moment of people acquire a second language, and it's important to recognize them because they contribute to the efficiency and effectiveness in second language development. If we talk about in the area of language teaching and learning in general, we can say that those factors classify in personal factors and general factors. But in this occasion, we're going to talk about the psychological factors, which has a special influence on second language learning. So we are going to start.
Well, I am going to talk about the first factor, personality. Personality is a person's set of traits as well as the way he or she behaves, feels, or thinks. Rod Ellis, a researcher and professor at Curtin University, identified three main personalities factors where acquiring a second language: extrovert, ambivert, and introvert. According to this classification, extroverts learners are the faster and most successful in learning a new language due to their social skill, which allow them to practice without obligation. On the other hand, the Big Five model proposed by Louis Goldberg should also be taken into account. This model is used to identify the personality of each language learner. Among them, we had openness to experience, conscientiousness, extroversion, introversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. This identification links the teacher to design the learning experience for the learners very carefully in order to address the needs of different learners, thus improving the acquisition of the new language.
Language ability aptitude is defined as prediction how well relative to other individuals. An individual can learn a foreign language in a given amount of time and under given conditions, which means that is a set of cognitive abilities that predict the learning of a second language, how quickly the student adapts and puts into practice the new language he or she is learning. Four skills are used, which are phonetic coding ability, grammatical sensitivity, rote learning ability, and inductive learning ability. This potential is often evaluated using formal aptitude tests, which predict the degree of success the students will have with a new language. Aptitude tests vary, but many include evaluation of ability to manage sounds, grammatical structures, inter-rules, and memory.
Motivation is a state of mind that causes a person's behavior to change. This energy is what makes a person performing all the necessary actions to achieve his or her objective in the most efficient way possible. We can define like motivation like a process which may decide set objectives, use the appropriate resources, and maintain a certain behavior. With the purpose to action at goals. We have two types of motivation. Extrinsic motivation is a set of actions that you carry on in order to obtain an external reward. Intrinsic motivation is that which confronts with each individual and is independent of any type of external stimulus. When we have motivation, the brain is making more dopamine.
Good afternoon, Magister. I talk about learning styles and strategies styles. According to this definition, learning styles are determined by the learner's preference and they are habitual or natural. It is important to understand that each student is an individual being and therefore with his or her particular way of learning, which has been formed through his or her own habits. Thus, we find different types of learning styles, among them cognitive styles, field dependent, field independent learns, analytic, global works, reflective, impulsive, sensory styles, perceptual, visual, auditory, tactile, kinesthetic, environmental, physical, sociological, and personality styles, tolerance, and ambiguity. Right and left hemisphere dominance, left brain and right brain. Learning styles it is important because it helps us to diverse learning communities, determine what's best for your students, mismatch between instruction and learning style. Um, mm, Teaching strategies, metacognitive strategy, for example, planning, evaluating, monitoring, cognitive strategy, summarizing, induction, auditory representation, making inference, using inference, grouping, note taking, elaboration of prior knowledge, social effective strategy, cooperating, clarifying, self-talk, learning styles, and strategy help us to vary activities and materials, make all learning styles value neutral, audit your teaching, encourage students to stretch their learning styles, and find ways to link both learning style and strategies. Thank you.
Now I'm going to talk about the learning strategies. The learning strategies make reference to the techniques that the students use to enhance their comprehension, retention, and application of new information. The learning process becomes more effective and efficient with the help of these tools. Now, if we don't use the learning strategies, a student can feel boring in class and even unmotivated, is something that affect in a direct form in the teaching learning process. So it was all our explanation. So thank you so much, teacher.